Hello again. I told you I'd come back. I told you we were going to do knobs. So Nikki from Gracie's house has kept the promise. I've brought you into my kitchen and I've tried to give you a backdrop that is probably as tidy as it's ever going to be in the background. So this is not too bad. I have got, so we're doing Redesign with Prima Moulds. This is the Monstera mould. So it's got the cheese plant and the tropical leaves and things. Jackie, you're here again. And I've got Kanika, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So I briefly touched on earlier, this is my experimentation. So the principle is, or the idea was, that I mounted in while the resin was setting, whoopsie, these little brass M4 screw inserts, which worked. High silver, it worked. However, the creative brain part was only partially firing with the technical side, and what I didn't factor in was needing a stem. So you have part of the screw through your drawer front or your cabinet front, and I'm just getting this put off by. I love that you're doing different ones, Jackie. I know. Well, there's fab ones here, so I thought, okay, there's 5. I need 6 knobs, so one's going to be doubled up. But because you can turn them and have them in different directions, they'll look different anyway. So those of you that haven't seen what I'm doing, I've been doing a mid-century bureau. Hi, Debbie. So we did the frame. I've done the frame in a custom green. I've done some stenciling with geometric patterns and then tropical leaves over the top in green as well. I hemp oiled that this morning. So if you've got some time and you want to see some hemp oil in at work, the magic of hemp oil, just pop back and look at this morning's live. And so this sort of feels like the final stretch is sorting the knobs out. So the original hardware was beautiful, but there was only 2 left of the original ones. So I've kept them, they're in my stash. I always keep anything, even if it's just a single one. And the last set of knobs that I made, I used these as the base, and they're perfect because they're quite flat. They've got nice, they're quite heavy. I've only got 2 of these because I used, I think, 8. Hi, Carolyn. I used 8 of them on another project, and I haven't got anything else that will do this job. So I'm kind of, I'm going to use 2 and they'll go on the cabinets, and then I'm winging it for the others. So what I've decided to do, because I need a stem, I found some dowel in my project stash. So it's just a square bit of dowel, and that, I don't even know what the measurements are. It's 12, no it's not, it's 10.5 mil square. It's not quite square. So I've cut some little short pieces, and that's going to act as my stem. So I'm going to be putting them into my moulds. Once they're all done, I shall drill out and glue in the brass piece. That is the plan. Let's get to it. So I'm in the kitchen because I've got a couple of little tips for you. Anyone that hasn't done moulds or does moulds, I use a product that's similar to the Amazing Resin, but this one is a UK product. So I'll show you what I've got. There's nothing fancy. There's no fancy packaging in this. It's a company that they specialise in costume makeup and making prosthetics. So they make all sorts of weird and wonderful things on their website. But it's because I make so many moulds, this is much more cost effective for me. The Amazing Resin is really, really good for a starting project point though. So I have a little paper cup that I pinch to make a pouring thing out of. I have 2 little mixing cups. The secret to using your resin is to mix in small batches. It cures really quickly, and I've had it curing so quickly that it's already starting to solidify as I'm trying to pour my last mould. So you do have to work relatively quickly but calm. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is really probably the main, that's tip number 1. This is tip number 2. Microwave your mould. I'm going to pop this in the microwave, so hopefully it won't be too loud. I'll pop it in for somewhere between 1 and 2 minutes because the heat will make it cure even quicker. There we go, and it does work. I mean, this is pretty quick curing anyway, but I'm really impatient. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to get this ready. You just need to mix equal amounts of the two different types. So one's part A and one's part B on this. So that's nice and easy to remember. They do have little, this is from the amazing resin, these two little ones. They do have measurements on them. I can't see them anymore because they're a mess. So, but you can kind of do it by eye. You have to be relatively precise, but you can see how much you're filling up. And I tend to do it while I'm waiting for my mould to come out of my microwave. I hope that's not too loud for you guys in the background. I've also bought my hairdryer to see if I can speed it up even more. Because like I said earlier, I mean, watching resin cure is probably about as interesting as watching paint dry. Okay, mixing lolly stick. And this is, I've used this several times already, so it's got dribbles, and I just let it go hard. Rather than trying cleaning stuff out or binning it, I use it, say, 2 or 3 times before I bin it. And I just pick stuff up like this I get from the charity shops, or my mum, she brings me stuff all the time. Okay, here we go. That's probably enough. So that's been in there about 1.5 minutes, and you can feel it's quite warm, and it almost starts getting warmer as you move along. Okay, you've got to mix quickly as well. So you tip both in at the same time. Get as much out of those as you can. Whoops. And mix it. And this one's got a slightly more yellow tone than the amazing resin. You just need to make sure that you mix it. I'm not going to tilt it because you're not really going to get to see. This is quite yellowy. You'll see where they've mixed, it'll be a bit more sort of marbly. You need to make sure you mix until the marbling's gone. I froze for a few seconds. Oh, okay. I'm hoping my internet's okay. Am I back? Am I back normal now, Jackie? Okay, so I've done that. I'm going to pop my wooden blocks into my chosen moulds. I should have done that before I mixed, but never mind. Let's pop it that way. There we go. I'm going to pop one in, that big one there, and I really like this sort of banana leafy looking one. And then, so like I said, I've just pinched it to make it more like a jug, and I'm going to pour it in. I might need to top that one up a little bit. And if you can pour it really, really gently and try not to overfill, but if you do, it's not too much of a drama. It just will give you, rather than a flat edge, it will give you, just need to top that one up a little bit. I think I've got enough to just about cover all of these leaves, yeah. Oh, I've overfilled that one, so I'll have to tinker with that. So they will start, so it's, as you see, it's quite liquid and quite, good, just a few seconds, okay, you're back with me. So I'm gonna just pop some heat on with the hairdryer as well. Now I've not tried this before, so I'm gonna go from high up because I don't wanna be blowing my resin everywhere. No, that's not gonna work. Let's move that. Let's not do that. There we go. So I'm just going to chat to you for a bit then while these start to cure. They should kick in quite quickly because the mould was quite hot. So I had some other options as well. I'd found out some longer screws with some washers, and I thought about sticking that in as the base for my knob, and then having a nut on the other end. But I just felt it was nice and tidy to have the screw going into it instead. So I'm really hoping this is going to work better than my previous attempt. The moulds worked, that one doesn't want to stay upright, there we go. The mould part of it worked fine, worked exactly how. Jill, you've caught me. It's because I'm at lunchtime now. So yeah, this one, I can't tilt it, but this one's starting to go. So it's starting to go white already down here. I'm just thinking if I can push it closer to the camera. You can watch it set, how fun is that? No, that's out of camera now, isn't it? There you go, you can see it just in the bottom of the camera there, it's going white here and white at the tip. So that's because it's shallower. and this one's starting to go as well. So it's really, really fun. I actually love working with the moulds, and I will reuse these. Hi Julie, hi Cheryl. Which resin is it? So it's really, really similar to the Amazing resin, but I buy this, there's nothing fancy, there's no fancy name. It's a FC60 fast cast. So I can put you a link in where I get this from. Cheryl, where are you watching from? If you're UK, so this is a UK company. And just because I can buy it in bigger bottles. They go even bigger than this, but I wanted to test it before I bought something even bigger. But yes, I shall reuse these. So there's a couple of pieces on the inside of the bureau cabinet that I did. I had to move where the supports come in from the bureau to hold the drop leaf. I had to make some adjustments, so there's some holes. So I thought, oh, it'd be quite cute if I actually covered them up with moulds. I'll do it all. You know me, I love spraying my moulds gold. Hi Paula. So yeah, so can you see as we're talking how much this is going milky? So that's them. I'm a bit gutted that I overfilled that one. See, you can just, you know, why the blocks instead of the screws? So I've put the blocks in because there's no stem. It's not giving me enough of a stem. So can you see? So I used the M4 screw insert, which was a genius idea, but you got a bit of screw through the drawer front or the cabinet front, and then it didn't leave me with enough. So I'm kind of winging it, to be honest. I'm just coming up with and then, so these ones are going to be for the drawers, and then I'll use these knobs that I've got left for the cabinets. Unfortunately, I've only got 2 of these, but these will work brilliantly. It's looking good. But like I said, you know, it's trial and error. If this doesn't work, can I pull it back a bit? There you go. Can you see it a bit better now? If you can't see everything, Paula, if you tap on the screen, it might open it up to give you full view. But there we go. And I can tilt it a little bit now because it's setting. And it won't be long, and I'll be able to pop them out and show you as well. So I did the resin's really, really fun to play with. I should wear gloves, actually. That's something to mention as well. I mean, this is my kitchen table, but I've constantly got a plastic cover on it. Because Gracie makes a mess on it. I'm always doing projects on it. So it's just on here. It's covered in paint. Very lazy. Don't take it off. Hi, Olivia. So there you go. You see, it's still got a little bit of give, but they literally do dry very hard. Okay, Paul, you're already full screen. Good, good. So we're nearly there. I'm just going to let it go for a little bit longer because while they're still quite flexible in there, they won't pop out so well. But the little blocks seem to have done quite well. So what's everyone else got on for this afternoon? I don't even know, it's 20 to 1, so I'm going to have some lunch and I've got some photo editing to do. So I took my pictures that I was going to do this morning. I have got to list a couple of things. I've got to pack a couple of things up that have been purchased over the last couple of days. And then I've got the school run to do. So we never stop. Okay. Yeah, still a little bit flexible. Sometimes you can do, there you go, look, did you see? It just pops out. And there we go. So that's how quick it is. It's still flexible at this point because it's still warm. There you go. And the wooden piece is in there pretty sturdy, and that'll be even more sturdy and rigid. And I shall probably do my thing and paint these gold because I think they'll look awesome gold. So there's one. Let me put it back. There we go. And these ones, I can still use these. I'll just go around with a craft knife and peel those bits out. Is there a strong smell? Do you know what? There's barely any smell, actually. That one of the two, can't remember which one now, smells more than the other, but it's really, really not offensive at all. And to be honest, my husband's quite sensitive. he'd walk in and complain if it smelt too strong, especially as I'm doing it in the kitchen. He's never ever complained. He knows what's good for him. So this one, yeah, this one's ready to pop out as well. So, you know, trial and error. There we go. I said I'd never use the hairdryer. Won't ever use the hairdryer again. See, it's still flexible because it's still quite warm. And I haven't done this, but Jodie, I think a lot of you watch Jodie as well. She's popped them in the microwave to, once they're cured, to just make them more flexible again. And I think you can do that as well. I think that works. Certainly with our, because Jodie, I think, has this as well, has the same resin as me. With this fast cast thing, you can pop it in the microwave, and so if you do have to stick it to a curved surface, you can do. And they just, you know, once you just need to give them a little while, and then they're ready to pop out. It's great definition, the resins as well. I personally haven't used, I'd like to try the glue guns. So if anyone's ever tried the glue gun technique in moulds, let me know how that's gone for you. I quite like to try that. But I went straight in with resin because I had read and seen lots of people, Brandy particularly, says that the resin gives the best results. So there we go, another leaf. And as I said, you know, you can move this and have it facing any way you want. So I will be doubling up because there's only 5, and I've got 6 knobs to make. So that's the one that overflowed when I put the hairdryer on. And I should just go around that with the craft knife. So I'll cut it off with the craft knife, and then I'll spray them all gold. I've got to drill these inserts in and glue them in. So it's a bit of a faff, but I think for some custom doorknobs, I think it's a great idea. That one's got some, oh, I must have poured a little dribble in extra. Okay, so there we go, guys. If you've got any questions, you can always drop them in. I do try and check back, because for some reason on lives, even once they're posted, I don't get notifications. So I do try and come back and check everything and see if I've got anything new. Certainly for like a week after. Maybe after that, not so much, but I do try and keep on top of everything. Gigi, spraying resin. Oh yeah, I've only, no, I haven't only sprayed, that's not true. But I spray paint these. And they do say that once it's cured, the quicker you paint them, the more it will last. But I've got unpainted ones in my box ready for when the right project comes along. I'll have to report back on that because I've not got any test results to substantiate. But yeah, I spray paint mine all the time. What else have we got there? Lorraine, oh sorry you missed quite a bit. You're going to watch again on replay. Yeah, it's just, we're just making some knobs with the Monstera mould. So yeah, thanks Jackie, well done. Yeah, as long as, it's great as long as they do what I want them to do and I can get the inserts in. And but I think it's going to work. But that's great. Thanks guys for watching as always. Drop me some love, like and follow the page if you haven't already. If you do end up watching on replay, or if you have just watched it on replay, just drop me a hashtag replay and I'll always say hello. Thanks guys. Oh Marissa, you've just joined us, you've just got us at the end. I'm really sorry. Thanks guys, bye.